ordered on Saturday and it came today.
Have you tried it?
Perfect timing.
No, I haven't opened it. I'm going to open it Saturday.
Make sure you chill it. Make sure you chill it.
You're going to open it for the finale.
For the
premiere.
Yes. I got home from work and it came and I was so excited. So I'm going to put it in the fridge and my husband and I will be drinking and watching it.
Yeah, so, let us know what you think.
I definitely will be leaving a comment. I'm already super happy how fast the shipping was. So, and based on the reviews already, I'm sure I'm going to like it.
Word. I really
okay.
It's dope.
So did you anticipate like how big the show was going to be when you first signed up to do the show?
You want to go? I don't think we were shocked, to say the least, about a lot of things after we signed up to do the show, because we was like, we're not celebrities, so we wasn't sure how the ratings was going to go, how the fans was going to take on to the show. So no, we were surprised of the show being like the #1 show on right now. Like, we were like, wow.
Yeah. I think that it was kind of like you think you have the right answer, or you think you have an answer, or you think that you want to just state what you think is being authentic and real, and what was in your mind. I guess you just being who you are, and whether you're accepted or not, it's still going to be you at the end of the day. And I think that it being #1, I think that the fans, and I think that the networks, I think people recognize that level of authenticity in us, and it related to them on a core level.
Yeah, regular relationships, marriages. Like, I felt like with Marsau, and I'm like, listen, I know we're not the only ones going through what we're going through in our marriage. So I'm sure there's other couples that's probably experiencing what we're experiencing, or have been through where we was at. So we was like, we're just going to be raw and real. We're not going to try to, put on a front or anything. We're just going to give it to you raw.
We're going to give you as much as we want to give you. There's something we're not going to give you, we're not going to give you.
Right. Like, so there is like a gradual like evolution of like how we met you guys in season 1, and then now we're almost like season 4. Like season 1, Tisha, you were a stay-at-home mom, like ready to, Marsau, you just marking over there. You were ready like to venture and start your dream, go after your dream, and like you both had an agreement in this very traditional role, and that conversation was very relatable to a lot of people, and different at the same time, because like, oh, we never seen something like this. And then on the other hand, there's people are like, I could relate to that because I'm in that type of relationship. So when you talk about showing up as who you are and being real, I think that's what people were able to relate, and seeing like the growth that we were able to witness over the last 4 years.
Yeah.
I think that's very beautiful.
Yeah. And that's what it is. Like, you put your goals out there, you put your dreams out there, you just go for it. So I'm happy that the show was able to capture me going after the things I said I wanted to do and the things I'm doing. And you guys get to witness that. And it's, just shows like the strength of a woman. And when you put your mind to something, nothing can stop you. It's like, yeah, you have those different seasons in your life. And for the first 5 years of my baby, I was like, we decided for me to be a stay-at-home mom. But as she was getting a little bit older, I was like, okay, it's time for me to start taking these baby steps to get my real estate license, going back to school, getting the knowledge under my belt. So by the time she starts school, I'll be able to go back into the workforce full force. So, and you guys have been witnessing that. And journey with me.
And you know what? You also witness that sometimes how, when you're a family unit, how your individual endeavors can impact the family dynamic, and how sometimes, even though you want everyone to grow, you have to figure out as a family how to grow.
Right.
We could easily just sit back here and throw out words like boss and CEO and all of this stuff right here, but none of that stuff means anything. You can be a boss of a failing company. You can be a CEO of a company that's filing bankruptcy. At the end of the day, we want to do it successfully. And sometimes, women that are bosses have husbands and they have kids.
Right.
And as much as you want to be a boss, some people need to eat. And as much as the husband wants to be a boss, he got bills, So that's real life.
Right.
We can say a lot of stuff that's not real in terms of just like giving you these high platitudes, but when we stepped out, kind of answer your question earlier, when we wanted to be in this, it's our goal. And even with the questions tonight, I think it's unfair. You know, the most respect someone can ask of you, well, if someone asks something of you, the most respect you can give them is to give them your answer honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell somebody it's 3 miles when it's really 5 and you know it.
Right.
And don't tell them it's 7. You know,
right.
Just say, hey man, this is the path I took. This is what I went through.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and just be fair with each other. And that way we as a community can grow.
Right.
That's so true. I think that speaks to being able to share your journey in the most honest way, and knowing that each of our journeys will not look the same, but being able to share that knowledge and share back and forth. And I think this kind of like touches up on your, especially the first season and 2, you guys talked about the power of Black economics, and you guys were very intentional about showing up for your community, being able to build your business within your community, a lot of the development work that you did within your community, empowering Black people, employing Black people. So how has that been impacting your community? Because from what we see, at least from TV and from the articles that I have read, you guys have contributed a lot to Huntsville.
Mm-hmm. You want to go?
Yeah. But one, I think it's very critical. You know, I think that there's a couple things. The way the original comeback group, I'm sorry.
Get messages.
Got text messages.
Yeah.
The way the comeback group originally was founded, well, we were sitting around, we were kind of talking, and eventually it came to understanding that the number one thing that's missing from the African American community is African Americans. Mm-hmm. We are grown in this neighborhood. We're all from one of these neighborhoods. And once we make it, essentially the number one goal in the community is to get out. The number one goal of the hood is to get out.
Yeah.
Right.
And if the good always graduates and leaves, then how can that community ever become better?
Right.
You know? And so that's what the comeback was, that we can make a comeback if we come back. But then the question of that was, how can we come back, and why would we come back? Because at the end of the day, our commitment only goes so far to say that, well, I'm not going to send my kids to those schools. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to live in that neighborhood. I don't want to be that person that sits there, you know, and starts thinking, what happens to me? You know, I've made decisions that can afford me a different life. So why would I choose this? And so now that's why revitalization has to come in tandem with community in terms of commercial, residential, the public sector, and the overall environment. Mm-hmm. And so with us putting in Black and Uptown, one of the biggest things that we come in and we get, and this is these are our flowers. When they come in, they say, mm-hmm. Hey, I'm proud of you. Mm-hmm. You know, they're not saying, oh man, y'all dope, good seeing y'all, man, y'all doing y'all thing. Mm-hmm. They're saying, hey man, I'm proud of you. That means I believed in you. You're attached to us. You're one of us. And you know, you walk into an establishment that says, wow, you know, and intentional. Don't be confused.
Right.
This is Black. This is us.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know? Right. I think there's a beauty that unintentionally or intentionally empowers people that look like us, and being able to see themselves within you, people who are doing it and contributing to the community. Because a lot of times, I'm not sure how Huntsville is where I am. There's a huge amount of gentrification happening, and a lot of Black folks, generational, like grandmothers, mothers who's been part of the community, they can't afford to live because of the tax increase, and they leave, and then other folks come in, and then by the time you're ready to purchase the property, the prices have gone up so much that you moved to a different community.
And see, that's what happens as a community. You know, Black people as a community, we've been taught that our words don't have value, our vote doesn't have value, our money doesn't have value, and our land doesn't have value.
So true.
And so what we understand is that this is a game that it's not there's a difference between a savage and a scavenger, you know? You know, and if we want to win this game, it's not marches, it's not songs. You've got to be a real savage, and savages kill and eat the meat. And we have to be willing to do whatever it takes to grow our land, to raise up the community, and to do it through the natural law of economics.
And we just have to know how powerful the Black dollar is. Like, look, did Polo just come out with African American?
The college,
Hey, Target came out with a Black line that sold out online, sold out in the stores. So speaks volume to us as a race. Like, we spend money, and then we have to start back investing that money back in our community, hiring within our community, and paying and spending money within our communities. And that's the reason we put Black where we put it, because we wanted the money to be within that community.
And that's the reason we put Scott Manor where we put it.
Right, we're building a home in that community. Yes.
There's actually a question about Scott Manor. Like, where are you guys with that process? Because we really got.
I don't even know why he brought it up.
No, I got a lot of questions from the fans about that, because we got to see it on the show, but we really didn't do a follow up about it.
Yeah.
You can answer it. The general contractor can answer it.
All right, developer. Man, honestly, we are still waiting on plans. We got everything. We got the house plans done, but then the architect came in like maybe month 8, and after we've been working on these plans, they flew in and we took a tour of the land, because the driveway is about almost a quarter mile, and it's up the mountain. And so we toured the driveway, and he said, man, you know, after we cleared all of this land, he said, I don't think that the orientation of the house where it sits inside of the mountain is the best view. And so he wanted to change some of the dynamics of it. I said, okay, fine. Because at this point, I'm not going to rush it just to make this house to sit on top of this land. We want to make sure that they work well together. But it's just taking time forever. I swear to God, we just got some other news the other day when we were talking about the civil plan. So it's just.
And we talked about it this season on the show too, so you guys follow us along on that journey as well.
Yes.
There is a question about, is your uncle still in charge of the development plan?
See, y'all trying to make us give up information from the show. We gotta watch it.
All right, we gotta.
My uncle's firm is still in it.
Yes.
Okay, but I want to go back to Black and the success of it. Congratulations, because I feel like it's just booming and it's beautiful to witness. Is there any plan on expanding Black in other states?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're currently looking for locations. Right now, our 2 top is Houston and Atlanta. We're looking for a location in Atlanta, and we're also looking for investors. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got a good amount of questions about that. So, hey, if you're interested in investing, there you go. This might be an opportunity.
Yeah.
And if you guys can type the link where they can order the champagne, because they're asking a lot about it.
Let's see. It's blackcigarlounge.com.
There you go. Or you can go to the Instagram page and then click on the link.
Yep.
Find it that way too.
Yep. I'm gonna put it in here right quick.
Okay.
Oh, darn it. Nope, I did that
How long
wrong.
you been married?
We've been married for 4 years. We're a college sweetheart, and we're also Greek. I'm Eschiro, he's Kappa. Don't do him.
We love the Divine 9. Yes.
Yeah. So, when I first sorry.
You're what? You're
Eschiro.
Eschiro. He's Kappa.
Yeah.
Did you know that he was Kappa before you married him?
Yes, I did. We played around the same time. So.
Okay, so you just decided to let go and let God.
Oh my God! Don't.
He can do it. He can do it. He can do it.
Yeah. So we grew up together pretty much all of our undergrad and in our 30s right now. So that's why I was like very relatable when the show first aired, because a lot of like you guys were very much so like what we're going through and being interested in real estate as well. So.
Okay. And he didn't have any of those Kappa signs growing up. He just kind of turned. It happens. You never know when they're growing up, but you know, we just pray for the best. That's the best we can do for our kids, you know.
Well, I will send your prayers and pass it to him. So I'll let you know what he says.
Well, hey, they said the first 5 years. That's the tough time, the hard time. So you guys, you're almost there.
Yeah, it's been beautiful. I think the foundation which I really wanted to bring up, because I mean we're moving on to that segue of like having the solid foundation, and you guys not only going from being like regular or normal, like you said, Tisha, to now being adding reality TV show to your lives and opening your lives up for the world to really judge, critique, and like have unsolicited opinions about it. So how are you guys navigating the space of your marriage, your business, and TV show?
Year 4 is much better than year 1. It was really tough. So me mentally, it was tough. And so I had to get in tune with praying and meditating. I'm like, look, God, you gave me this platform for a reason. It's not something I went after, it just, it's something that happened to us. And so I had to make sure mentally I was there with listening to God and in the direction he would like for me to take with everything. So you guys see that on the show. I know people say all the time, like, teacher, don't cry, don't cry. I'm emotional, and I wear my feelings on my shoulders. And I think I've gotten better as time has gone on the show. That's something that Love and Marriage Huntsville has definitely taught me, how to get better with dealing with pressure and being in uncomfortable situations and really speaking your mind on things and speaking up against things. So I'm much better than I was. And it's just staying focused on the long-term goal. And like you said, the foundation is so important. And within our marriage, as you guys, I got so much heat for coming on so strong season 1. Well, what's that season? Yeah, it was season 1 when the rumors was said about my husband, and it was like, well, why are you coming on so strong? How do you know this? And it's like we built a foundation. And once you know a person, that's all you have is your trust and the love and the foundation that you guys have built together.
Right.
I think that season 1, honestly, all we are, our goal is to set out and be who we are.
That's all we know what to do.
I wasn't big on reality TV, and so I thought this story was going to be more about construction than anything else. Part of it is like, wow, I can't believe people think like this. Like I can't believe there's so many people out there that have these feelings and have these thoughts. And while I've always been around people, I've never really been, I don't have that many friends. I have a lot of associates and I smack a lot of hands, but I don't have that many people that I call friend. And with that being said, it's just strange seeing how people actually think, but I also see there's a group of people that I think that are inspired by it. And I think that God chose to make us a light for a brief moment in time. And I know it's our goal that we can, illuminate a path that we saw and that God showed us. So that's one aspect of it. The other part of it is like, man, I guess people don't realize they don't know who we are.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up. Like, what's reality and what's real life? Like, what are some misconceptions that we have about you guys based on the show that we watch versus, like, who are really, like, Marsau and Latisha that we don't know of?
I think that our social media speak a lot for who we are. Like, you have the TV show, but then you also see us on social media. So you have to pay attention to what you see about our life that we're displaying on social media. Like, we're trying to get the audience to see a little bit more about us. Of course, we have no control over the show. We only have, control over our social media accounts. So that's what we try to highlight so people just can get to know us a little bit better.
Well, and we're extremely dynamic. Like we're so many different sides, and that's one of the things I think that helps us relate to, our current community. We're coming from an age where Black is very diverse and there's a lot of variety. And so you meet an engineer making $175K that can play spades and cuss you out and go to church and barbecue and to get drunk but not too drunk and might grab whatever it is. And so they're very versatile and that's who we are. So at one moment I'm an intelligent guy who understands and really wants to push people towards the next level. But then the next moment, I mean, you're sitting there talking about my family, and I'm like, "The hell with you, bro!" Like, really, your mama.
You are the clap back king in the comment section. You got me cracking up with some of the comebacks that you have.
Like, I'm not too big to read comments. Matter of fact, the difference is everybody reads comments. Okay. Right. Every celebrity that tells you they don't read comments is lying. Everyone reads comments. Like saying I don't look in the mirror. Everyone reads comments. The only difference is they try not to act bothered.
True.
Sometimes as a human, I'm bothered.
Right.
You know, and sometimes I just look at you and say, man, what kind of audacity you got? So when you make a comment, I'm going through your pictures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if you got the right to say this, because maybe you do. Maybe you do. Then again, maybe you don't.
You definitely need to be coming as people's mamas.
Whatever.
Not the mamas.
He did, but like to just kind of piggyback on the having solid foundation and also being married parents and being on reality TV shows. Tisha, you spoke about the effect of social media, the negative effect of social media, and more so like I feel like every season there's an allegation that's being thrown at you. How do you navigate? I want to ask you guys about like how do you navigate these allegations, because they're being printed like on Google, YouTube. Like how do you guys navigate from business perspective and also from your kids? Like, do they have access to social media? What type of conversations are you having with your kids? And also as developers, as partners are wanting to partner with you, like how do you explain what's being put out about you?
I speak so much as far as the kids, because we have a high schooler, right? So we have a 10-year-old, a 10-year-old, and a 7-year-old.
Right.
So I just talk to them about it, honestly. That's because I have to now. At first, I just try to protect my kids as much as possible. Like, don't get on social media. Don't believe what you hear. But now they have their friends coming to them saying, hey, your parents is on TV and showing them clips on YouTube. So especially my son, I think we talked about it on the show. I really just have to talk to him, and I have to explain to him the way he would understand. I'm like, listen, just like you have bullies in school, you have adults bullies. So, and that's real life. And a lot of times kids grow up to be adult bullies, or a lot of times the kids that's in school that's bullies, their parents are bullies. So you have real live adult bullies. And that's what I call them. And so I talk to my kids about that, and I explain it to them. And we just have to have that line of communication. And as far as like different things coming out every season, I think we go into details this season about how we have been affected, or how it has made us feel as a couple with the different things that's coming out. And I think Saturday kicks it all off.
Okay.
So yeah, Saturday kicks it off. So I think that's going to answer a lot of your questions.
Oh, good.
So I don't want to give away too much information, because I still want people to watch it and see how it's played on the show.
Well, I think that also with the things, it's really tough, because when it first comes out, you're looking like, okay, what are they saying? Are they saying anything that you can, contest or take them up on, And so what everyone's doing now, they're getting a lot more clever with it. I mean, they'll create some kind of fake account. They'll attempt to report a news. They say, hey, listen, I heard this. And so talking to Maurice about the legality of it is that, sometimes people are covering themselves to the point where they can't be sued.
Wow.
But I'm certainly not above making a buck off the back of someone who thinks they can just talk smack and get away with it. So I like it. Go ahead and do with it, do it. Yeah, I guess, promote it, whatever. But it's just so crazy, because again, this is like, I can't believe people are like this. Like, I literally cannot believe that people are sitting back, plotting and trying, and it's like, it could be the most baseless thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, someone can literally get on there and say he has 2 outside children,
and people run with it.
And I'm like, really?
And it's just so crazy, because I think it takes away from the real issue, because we've been married for 15 years. So we have real issues within our marriage. So by people coming out with fake stuff, it takes the focus away from really trying to showcase what we're really going through and how we're really navigating through that, because we have to deal with this BS over here.
Yeah. And just because, when you say, well, people say it, then a lot of people say it, then a lot of people say it. I mean, a lot of people said a lot of stuff, but it's ridiculous. And I think it's just getting to the point now where It's not even fun
We're
anymore.
tired of it. It's like, okay, guys.
It used to be fun to laugh and joke about it and say this.
Yeah.
You can't even joke about it anymore
But
at this
point,
point.
it's like, seriously.
It's
man.
old news. It's like
it's something new every season. Like it's like recycled.
Couple times a season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I was just curious about like how that affects you business wise, but also with your children. I know we don't really see your kids on TV as much, but
No business.
well, the contract that you was getting, the
I got it.
you got it, yeah,
Didn't
but
affect
it didn't affect it, but it could have.
A lot of things can. It's really going to be hard to affect me in life. And so if someone wants to affect me at any point, I mean, it's going to be a full-time job for them. Yeah. You have to give up a lot. You have to give up a lot of stuff. You got to pack a lunch. You got to wake up early.
Noted. Okay. Okay, let's get into this upcoming season. The trailer that came out was pretty intense. I was trying to put like clues together to see like if I could make sense of it. But so it looks like right after the last reunion aired, you guys started filming right away, and or close to it. But so I'm curious to know, and there are a lot of questions about the various dynamics within your groups and how that's being played out. Before I say that though, Tisha, Carlos said this season you are not to be played with. What does that mean? Like you're coming out?
I don't know. It's so funny because everybody's like, I want to see the new Tisha. I mean, I'm happy that the new Tisha's coming out. I'm like, but I've always been that person. So I guess because maybe I'm a little bit more vocal. I'm not just quiet and listening as much. So maybe I am. I'm speaking my mind more. I'm calling people out on the BS. Like if it's wrong, it's wrong, and I'm just gonna call you out on it. So maybe that's what he's saying.
Okay, so we'll get to see more outspoken, I guess, more than usual, Tisha. I'm excited to see. So, Marsau, what are we going to see in your kind of relationship dynamic with Lewis? Because during the reunion, there was a really not tough conversation, but challenging conversation in a way about someone's like expertise when it comes to marriage. Like, are we going to see that played out this season?
Well, it's my opinion that that people have a right to their opinions. That's fine. But you don't have a right to share your opinion with me unsolicited without, recurse. So when it comes down to it, is that you can share your opinion with me, and then I can share my opinion with you sharing your opinion to me. And it's like that. I think that the same people that want to sit back and make, and I'm not bitter at all. Right. I'm not bitter at all. I'm like this. Mm-hmm. And so the same people that make opinions of my life and of my marriage based on what they've seen on television,
right?
And they want to share those with me, then I'll share them with them how I feel about them, and their situation. And so here's what you haven't seen, right? Here's what you haven't seen. You see it a little bit on social media, but I really don't start stuff. I really don't come in and start anything. Mm-hmm. I'm not normally the one that comes in and has a problem off with you. I'm not the person that comes in and just makes these sly comments about you. Now, there are times that I've joked around, and I get that. And people take the joke the wrong way, or they feel it bad, and I've apologized or whatever. But I'm normally not the person that just pops off and just says some under the belt stuff to you, right? And people have this thing that they can just say that kind of stuff to me because I can take it, or because I'll joke. And every now and then, I'll just return fire. And no one wants that return fire. All right? No one wants that return fire. Then when that return fire comes, then I'm the bully. Then I'm the bad guy. Then I'm the aggressor. Right. But that's life, though. Life doesn't teach you. I mean, you drop a cup on concrete, it breaks. No one gives you a warning,
That's very true.
We've been defend small or defending ourselves a lot on the show. Like, I feel like with a lot of different scenes, I'm like defending my marriage, defending our relationship, and it's still to this season. Like people still have opinions and things to say about our marriage, and I'm fine with
that. I'm fine with that. We're on this social. My thing is, we're on television, and you have a right to have an opinion of me.
Right.
But you're on the internet, and I got a right to have an opinion of you. And if your page ain't private, and I can see your family, then I got a right to have an opinion about them too. So let's just exchange opinions.
Right. So I guess be ready to take whatever comes with it when you open your mouth.
This is what we did. This is what we did in school. Like we were the poor funny kids. All right. We're the ones that could joke anybody down the head to toe. So this whole social media is like the lunchroom to me. And you'll see quickly. I'm like,
that is being
fine, bring it on.
It's being recorded and reshared, so it's a different platform.
Yeah.
Hey, bring it on.
It don't go away. It's there.
No, it definitely doesn't go away.
Yeah.
There are questions coming up about the picture that you share from ATL. What was your intention?
Saturday.
Oh, we're gonna see that Saturday too?
Which picture?
Kicking it off.
Which picture? Marcel, you lit up the internet. What do you mean?
No, I share so many things on the internet.
The ATL
The ATL picture right after the reunion.
Atlanta.
Right after the reunion.
So Atlanta.
Yes.
You know the thing about it is Atlanta's so big.
Right.
You never know who's taking pictures and where. And so I don't know. Maybe it's just a nostalgic moment to just sit back and reflect on where we are and who we are as people and the dynamics of a group of entrepreneurs getting together.
What is this?
Just,
a life coaching moment? No. What happened?
He's talking around in circles. That's what's going on right now.
They're telling you you're deflecting. So we're going to move on because Tisha said we're going to see it on Saturday. So there are a few questions about the friendship dynamic, Tisha. Few people have questions about your cousin coming on the show this season. Were you surprised? What should we expect in that?
I was surprised. She's been on the show with me already. You know, because she wants to do speaking and she wants to write books and things like that. So I definitely wanted to make sure that I was in the position to share my platform with any of my family members or my close friends that want to do, you know, anything related to this. I mean, God bless you to be in a position to bless others. That's how I look at it.
True.
So, yeah, I was shocked. And you guys are going to get a chance to see that because she was somewhere I wasn't there. And apparently I was the topic of discussion. So we shall see how this play out.
Oh, man. Do you feel like we have the opportunity to get to know you guys? Because you mentioned earlier, a lot of times you guys are in defense mode. Do the audience, like the fans, really know who you are? And
those that care do. Those that are authentic and those that choose to look at us as humans, they are. Those of us who decide that they're going to look at this segment of our lives and assume that this is all there is to us, then God bless them too. And really, it's the mental capacity of the person that's looking at the television show to understand what in total is going on. And the people that care to look beyond the surface, you know, if they look beyond the surface, then they'll see. If they don't, then they won't. And if they won't, then thanks for watching. You know, I mean, it's a great show. It's a great show.
And I think you have some people that's like dead bent on disliking Marsau or misunderstanding our relationship or disliking me. And they're going to believe whatever anybody has to say without any proof or whatever because they're like, I just don't like her. And, you know, and that's fine. You're not going to be liked by everybody. And I understand that. But
47 million Americans didn't like President Obama. You know, Jesus was killed.
Yeah.
And I'm not Jesus or President Obama, but you've never seen us both in the same room.
Marsau, I read an article, I'm not sure how true it is, but it said the season, allegedly, it said that you said that this season we weren't going to like you. Did you say that? If so, why is that?
No, you might not. You might not.
He did say that.
Because when I hit hard.
Oh.
And after I get hit, I hit and I'm not really ultimately concerned because I'm at a point in life where you're responsible for your words. And don't just say that shit to me. You know, you don't have a right to walk up to me and just say this what you want to say. And if you want to play this game, I'm going to show you how it feels. And so I will I've been put in a position to where there's a glass and a concrete. Right. You drop the glass, the glass breaks. You know what I'm saying? And that's life. And so when you walk up to me and you say these things and you choose to operate with me in that capacity,
right,
then here's the repercussions. Stop.
So playing. you're not holding back, it seems like, and you might be hurting some feelings.
And I think we've been doing good for the past 3 seasons. Like, we've been holding back, not saying certain things we know to be true about certain people.
And I'm still not going to do that. I mean,
certain things.
I'm not going to turn into. I'm not going to get a skirt out. We're not doing that. But at the same time, is that it's important for. I don't want to be your punching bag.
Right. Mm-hmm. No, I'm tired of being your punching bag.
You know.
Yeah. So.
Tisha, there are questions about how do you tune out the negative comments that are about you or your marriage? Like, how are you navigating that on social media?
I mean, because I've been dealing with this for so long now, I'm like, they're just going to be negative people. So you may get blocked. So I may block you, delete. Sometimes I go back and forth with people. It just depends on my day, how my day is going, and how I'm feeling at the time.
Got you. And then we have questions about, like, the questions are coming in, but there are questions about you and Kimmy, especially after the comment Kimmy made about you guys wouldn't be friends if you weren't like sister-in-laws. Like, how are you guys navigating that relationship? Are we going to see that play out in this upcoming season?
Yeah, you're definitely going to. I mean, we picked right up from.
Wow.
We picked up from the reunion, and we're going, and we're still in the process of filming right now. So, you guys are going to see that. And at the end of the day, I love Kimmy. Kimmy loves me. And sometimes when you have expectations of people and they fail your expectation, you know, I change my expectations. So hopefully our relationship, you know, could be better. But at the end of the day, I love Kimmy. And she's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. We're married to best friends. So it's going to be difficult for us to be like, I ain't talking to that chick because I ain't cool with her. You know, we're going to have to figure it out. And the husband, they have been hands off with it. They're like, we're going to let you and Kimmy figure this thing out. And so you guys are going to get a chance to see us trying to figure it out and see where it goes.
I think that's fair. And my question to you is, have you communicated your new expectations with Kimmy? Because I feel like the last 3 seasons, there was a lot of miscommunication with standards and expectations in your friendship. And it was growing quickly, especially with like the reality TV show and other friend groups being added. How are you guys navigating the communication piece of it this time around?
I think we're better. And there's some things we just agree to disagree on. You know, and this was our first time, Kimmy and I, this on the TV show was our first time really having an issue within our relationship. We've never had an issue. Yeah. So when you guys saw that play out, you saw real emotions, real conversations, and real feelings. So we just was like, listen, we just didn't agree with this. I didn't agree with something she said. She didn't agree with some things I said. So it was like, we're just going to have to agree to disagree and move forward.
Yeah. Sounds like there's some boundaries maybe being put on.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. Absolutely.
Super excited to see that. There are questions about Miss Wanda. I love Miss Wanda, by the way.
You gotta do an interview with her.
I want to. I think I want to reach out to her so I can interview her. I'm thinking once like her episode airs, then I want to have a conversation with her.
She's a firecracker, and she's still the firecracker.
You're gonna need a interpreter.
First of all, well, we ain't gonna do that.
So there's 2 questions. One is, how's your relationship with Miss Wanda? And then the other question for Latisha is Miss Wanda still involved with Kimmy? Like, are they still arguing?
I think they can answer that question themselves.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's a relationship, you know. So our relationship is definitely a relationship. And not to say that the relationship isn't a relationship, because it actually is. But she is a, you know, I think that, you know, she's been sent in my life as to help me get to the next level.
Okay. What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's like, you know, you know, the pastors be like, they be telling all kind of wicked stories about God. Like, oh, God will put a dog behind you, make you run faster. Or I think that might be. She's helping me ignore other people on social media.
Okay.
Really?
She's helping me learn how to ignore people.
Oh, interesting. But you did not call her a dog, though, right? Let's just
Yeah, right. I was gonna say there's a comparison.
yeah.
Clarify that.
That's clear.
Did I?
Yes, there was a very
Crazy.
clear that up, Marcel. This is how like headlines start. So
Martha Cross Wanda dog. Did I say that?
Well, you did like an analysis, so we need to make sure.
An analogy. You give an analogy about.
I don't know.
See what I have to deal with? That's why I stay out of it.
But you don't stay out of it, though.
I do. I absolutely stay out of it. Y'all try to put me in it, but I be trying to stay out of that thing. I'm like, y'all deal with it yourselves.
We're watching the same television.
I don't know. The people are saying, Tisha, you'll stay out of it. They're like,
She doesn't stay out of it.
I
She doesn't stay
try
out of it.
to.
She does not stay out of it. And this is like, what are you talking about? Stay out of it, you know? Not even close.
Okay, so a few more questions about the upcoming season. Tisha, there are questions about you and Destiny's friendship. It looks like you two are closer this season. What can you tell us about that?
It just happened. Like, we didn't plan anything. We just, honestly, she was new on the show. You know, she came on the show as male friend, and I stayed away from that. And then, like, she started coming to Black, and we just started talking. And then being Huntsville is so small, we have, like, some mutual friends. I went to Alabama A&M, and I'm close to some people that's close to her, that's her family member. And they're like, you know, she's cool people. And so I opened myself up to get to know her a little bit better. And then our relationship is it's still growing and developing. Like, I'm still getting to know her. She's still getting to know me. We worked on a project together. I post that. And it was fun. You know, we traveled to Atlanta. And that was our really first time really having some one-on-one together. And we was like, girl, you cool peeps. And she's like, you cool peeps. And so we're just really just enjoying getting to know one another and forming a relationship and see where it goes.
There was a scene in a trailer that came out this Saturday. Like, I don't know if it was like a brunch setting, all of you guys, and you got up, and then other people got up. Like, what can you tell us about that?
Nothing. Kimmy put that together. That's all I gotta say. Kimmy, do you have an interview with Kimmy coming up?
I reached out to them. Can you please text them for me? I would love to.
I will.
Kimmy's superstar now.
Right.
Well, if she can fit me in, like, for 10
I gotta
minutes.
schedule time just to
We
talk
gotta
to her.
schedule. You know what? I should
But
call
the
her
good
right
thing
now.
about it is, she's an amazing secretary. Maurice is her secretary. We call him Mr. Kimmy. Or Kimmy's husband.
Kimmy husband.
Oh, Maurice is the secretary for Kimmy. Okay.
Yeah, he is. He's an amazing secretary. So he takes a lot of her pictures. He writes a lot of her posts. He writes down the cookbooks. Like, he puts the different little small ingredients, things like that. So I mean, when I say supportive, he is the best supporting actor in a reality TV series or unscripted TV series goes to Reese.
I will let her know. We was just together for a weekend trip, so I'll let her know to check her messages so she can get back in contact with you. So maybe she can elaborate on that because that's all Kimmy. She put it together.
Okay. There's a question about you wearing Team Wife t-shirt. I didn't see that, but
I'm a wife, right? Listen, I'm a wife, and I purchase things that I like. I saw a Team Wife shirt. We're on the same show together. So I'm like, hey, I'm Team Wife. So I purchase it. So we support each other. At the end of the day, the drama is the drama.
Okay.
But just like I shop at Target or any of these other stores, I can shop with amongst people that I know. So. And
we weren't being petty at all.
Okay, y'all heard it here first. Well, I don't know about that laugh, so.
I'm Team Wife. I'm all for the wives out here because I'm Team Wife, 16 years.
Okay. Well, there you go. She answered it for you guys. So where do you stand with Melody? Are we going to see you guys, like, mending your relationship, or is this?
You guys are going to see. I've been labeled the enemy I don't know how I even got that title, but I'm the enemy. So you guys shall see I'm sure she's going to explain herself. So we'll be watching it together to see that part. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Season 4 seems like it's packed with a lot of different dynamics.
Popping. Get your wine, get your champagne, your chocolate champagne together, because it is going to be a show.
Oh, yes.
Marsau, there are questions about your brother Mark in the comments that he make on social media.
No, those are grown men making grown men posts, and you should ask grown men about them grown men posts.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Okay.
That's fair. Let me just go through these questions real quickly and make sure that, because we have oh, Tisha, congratulations on your broker license, commercial broker license. What is the plan? Are you planning on opening your own real estate? Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. I'm gonna open my own commercial real estate company.
Wow, that's amazing. Congrats.
Yeah. Thank you.
I
do. Scott,
there are a lot of comments about you can't comment, but I can see it, so I'm seeing your comments. But if you're not following the page, I have blocked it because there was a lot of toxic comments being left. So you have to follow the page to leave comments. But I'm seeing your comments and your questions. What are the first steps for entering construction or real estate with zero experience?
I would say it depends on what you want to do in real estate. Like, do you want to be an agent? Do you want to be an investor? You have to first figure out what it is you want to do. If you want to be an investor, you need to get a broker on your team. If you want to be an agent, you have to take your real estate classes to get your license, and then find you a company to work under that has like a mentorship program that's going to guide you and lead you to be a good agent. So it's just such a broad field. You have to determine where it is you want to be and take those steps from there. And Google answer a lot of these, answer some questions too about this. So yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to new entrepreneurs or people who want to start like the entrepreneur life?
I would say begin with the end in mind, and let me be more specific. One of the most common goals that everyone has is to be successful. And you talk to them and say, hey man, I really want to be successful. I really want to be successful. And my question is always the exact same. What is success? How do you define success? And to be more specific, I give you this analogy. If I was walking out the store, someone said, hey man, can you give me a ride home? And I said, sure. The very first question I'd ask them is, where do you live? And you can't say, oh, it's a big house. It's great. You like it. It has 6 bedrooms. It's 4 bathrooms. It's white. All these things are cool. But where is it? Where is that house? What city? What state? What street? What number? What zip code? What is the specific location of your home? What is success for you? And for the people that don't understand it, you have to break it down to the point where, and really work your way backwards, because we keep thinking that, oh, we want to be a doctor, we want to be a lawyer, we want to be this, we want to be this, because we think that that's what success is. And so for the entrepreneur, everyone says, well, I want to do this, I want to make $1 million my first year. Because that $1 million means that I have a $1 million business, I'm successful. Really what you have to step back in is, as far as an entrepreneur, and really put, it's like a GPS. You've got to put the address in for this thing to work. And once you put the address in, then this blue line appears and it automatically says, this is where you're at, and this is all you need to do to get there. And it becomes math from that point. So my first piece of advice to the entrepreneur is write down on paper what their definition of success in this field is. And then put a date by that. It says, hey, listen, by the end of 2023, I want to have, I want to have a location that's, X big. I want to have annual volume of, 2,000 people coming in. I want to, and get to the key performance indicators. I want them paying, I want my average ticket to be, $20.50 a head or whatever. And so then once you start putting this big number in, you work your way down to the small numbers. Because example, $1 million. $1 million costs about $6,000 a month. That's the loan on $1 million. So you go from $1 million problem to a 6,000 problem, and 6,000 is nothing but 12 people paying you $500 a month. You go from a 6,000 to a 12 problem. In order to get 12 people, you got to make 40 phone calls. You go from a 12 to a 40 problem. In order to get 40 phone calls, you got to hire one person. Now you got to, one person can make you $1 million, but you've got to work your way backwards from the address to where you are.
Right. It's like scaling down this, I forgot which book I read recently, but talked about the power of small goals, being able to break down your big dreams to very small, scalable, attainable goals that you can like connect it to reality.
Key performance indicators.
There you go. Yeah.
How hard would it be for you to drive down the road and know how much gas you had? You'd have to literally have a stick and get out and put in a thing, but you create a dashboard to let you know that you have X amount of gas, or in this time, you've went this distance, a speedometer. And so those are the small things, these key performance indicators that allow us to navigate this vehicle through life.
Right.
And see the signs and be able to look over. Because you cannot tell someone how to become successful as an entrepreneur. What you can tell them is begin with a burning desire. Hell, go read Think and Go Rich.
Yeah.
But begin with a burning desire. Begin with a very specific point of where it marks success. And I guarantee you that there's going to be detours. There's going to be traffic jams. There's going to be a better route. But if you have that internal compass of what defines success for you, then you're going to make it.
Oh, that was powerful. That was powerful. There are questions about, are you open to holding classes with about entrepreneurship? They didn't really clarify, but
I am. And one of the main reasons why is because in my heart, and this is why I even went on the rant after the last social mania, is because I really don't, I'm tired of people being led astray by fictitious things. All right. I don't want people to look at this TV show and just get t-shirts and caps and champagne and stuff like that. I want people to get something from us. You know, that's why we're here. We're here to, you know, to actually make this thing connect. That's why the comeback group was there. That's why we are in this right here. And that's why we stomach this nonsense sometimes in order to continue to have a platform to be able to impact that person that wants to develop those communities, that wants to be a better person.
Right.
And so I do want to hold classes, because part of the classes is not going to be all this good stuff you want to hear. You're not going to hear, oh, your network is your net worth. And, just when God just pray about, then God says, do this, and then you go afterwards. That's not, I get that, and that's cool. But how'd you get out the driveway?
You got to do the work.
What does do the work mean? What's the practical application of all these things? And so we talk high, and then we get down to the functional part of how to become a great business person.
Right. I think, especially with social media, we get to see the end product with everyone. And a lot of us don't really share the struggle phase, the redirecting phase, the falling apart phase. So I think we're losing touch with like the
and that's why people say we got a bad marriage.
That's why the most important phase.
Because they see
the struggle.
They see the barely won. Almost didn't catch it, but I caught it. That's how you win Super Bowls. Inches. Calls that went your way. He wouldn't have won if it wasn't for this. We wouldn't have won if it wasn't for this. I mean, seriously, this is really how it's done.
Right.
But no one wants to see that. Everyone wants to see that us that sit back and say that we never let the sun go down in our anger.
Right. We're perfect, or we take these pretty pictures and put it on social media, but with the show, you guys actually get to see the struggle. And
then our goal is that if you see this struggle and you see us being successful at the end, when you get to that struggle, you won't feel so isolated and so different.
Absolutely.
You won't feel that you're at a point like, oh, well, they didn't do it, so I'm the only person. People think that they're the only people going through this stuff in their marriage.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
So being married for 4 years, I think there is a beauty in being able to create a solid foundation with your partner and understanding your wants, your needs, but also you touched up on this earlier, being able to grow separately but together as well. And I think that comes with honoring each other's experiences. And there's a lot of like tugging and pulling happening because like you're venturing out to different spaces. But what do you think is, go ahead.
I was like, what does the Kappa do?
I can't say his job here.
You can't? Okay. But you see how you doing this page, and not saying this is true, but you still on that social media thing again? Oh, you still doing that? Oh, I see. Okay, God, man, I'm sitting over here trying to get this right here, and you over here on this social media thing. See, people like that. If you want to be successful, you're going through stuff like that at your house because you're pursuing this goal. And you're saying, no, this is important to me. Well, you ain't getting paid for it. You ain't this right here, blah, 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 blah. So these are common. This is what happens in marriages.
Right.
You don't get to see that. Right. Because ours is perfect. And we don't talk about what we don't talk about. You know, we don't talk about the dynamics of me saying, well, how do you have kids?
No, we're praying.
Right.
Yeah.
And put kids into the mix. Put kids into the mix, and now you seeing your chance to be on OWN and do this right here off from a page you created, and you start blowing up your platform. Right. But at the same time, you're struggling with other things that you committed to prior to. Yeah. How do you balance that?
How do you honor your commitments that you had while still building on
and growing
the goal?
Yeah. And growing.
Yep. One of the best advice that I received right before we got married from our pastor was just remember that you both will be changing and expecting different things from each other almost every 3 months, because your likes and wants and needs will be different because you're growing and evolving. And if you're not communicating on a constant base, then it's an opportunity to grow apart. And that's something that stuck with me. So in any venture that I go after, I'm an entrepreneur as well, like being able to keep your partner on to let them know what you're doing, to let them into your world is very important.
Yeah. The trust and the communication is very important.
That's so true.
Communication is listening.
That's so true. That is so true. Oh wow. Sorry, I got caught away. Let me just get a few more questions. Okay. Yes, I will be saving this live. If you can't comment, I don't know. I think it's because you were not following the page. So that's probably is the reason. I don't see any other comments on my part. Oh, there's 2 comments that maybe this is an opportunity to clear the air. When you both went live to talk about the social media mania, you talked about like your dissatisfaction and dislike about how your accomplishments weren't highlighted, and there were assumptions being made as far as like YouTube throwing shade at Melody when you talked about like, oh, we don't have t-shirts or we're not creating this.
We sell t-shirts.
We do. We have black sweatshirts.
Yeah, so we're talking about t-shirts in general. Yeah. And it's a if the shoe fits, wear it. Yeah. At the end of the day, what we said earlier is
it was about us.
Our goal in this is that we want the other things highlighted. Right. We want the things that build up this community highlighted. Right. You know what I'm saying? We push that on social media, and that's been we've always said it. When we go back and negotiate, we say, listen, I want to focus more on business. I want to focus more on business. And we're able to do this other stuff and focus on stuff like pictures of people's backs and shit like that because we want to focus on business. And we'll put up with that right there. But it has to be some point where what we actually do, what we actually do, what we give our time to and our life to has to actually matter. You know, and so when you put up social media, and really it's not because I want people to see this. Listen, on television, there are no black general contractors. There are no general contractors. No. I'm saying no one's building this right here. No. I just built a $15 million apartment complex. Wow. And we built a shopping center. And we're building things. And the point is that you have a young black developer, right? Who went back to school, went from state, all these different things. From a stay-at-home mom to back to school, getting her second master's. And to me, that has to be included in our story. In the story of love and marriage, the story of who we are. Right. It has to be included. It has to be included that Maurice is an actual lawyer, a consumer protection lawyer. You know, we have to include these things, that they're buying property. These are the things that they're showing on their social media that they're doing. It's just not the bickering. It's
So,
not that. And so that's my dissatisfaction.
Because we're doing major things. Like,
right.
we're not doing small things. Like, we're doing dope, major things. And it's about this young girl that's living in the projects that's watching this TV show. She's like, oh my God. Tisha said she grew up in the projects and she was crying because she had nobody to help her with her homework. And now she has her second master's. She graduated with a 3.9 GPA. You know what I'm saying? It's like she's building this this retail plaza. Like, you have to show those things as well.
Right. I mean, because we're like, I mean, so the funny thing is people say, oh, you just mad because you get to shine and you got to do this, you got to do this right here. But that's not the case.
Because we get to shine.
Because we get it. I mean, we're on a damn television network. We get to shine anyway, right?
Well, are we going to be able to see some of the things that you talked about on the show? Because I think that's the other question.
We don't really edit the show, but
I know.
we do show our social media.
I know.
You know, so we encourage people. I mean, there's not a lot of time in this in our segment. You know, there are 6 main casts, like 4 or 5 other people on the outside of it. And so, you know, I think this show does a pretty good job of trying to highlight what we do well.
Okay.
And they try to, and what all fits in the story. Because I think that everyone on the show is so dynamic, for the most part, that you could do an hour-long show for each person.
Right.
You know, so I'm very grateful for the time period that we have and the platform that we have. But when it comes to these certain things, I do want to be vocal about that, because at the end of the day, this show's gonna go away. We're gonna get old. We're no longer gonna be relevant in whatever society. And I want to make sure that the things that we're talking about are the things that stick. And that right there is building of the community, building of the people inside, understanding that we are enough, and as a people, we can grow together.
Right.
Period. Yeah, that is so true. There is a question about Marcel. Where is your relationship with Martel? Where does it stand?
My relationship with Martel. I think Martel's a great guy. No, I think that Martel and we had some challenges in our relationship, and it is very, very hard to overcome some of those challenges. I'm the kind of person that, in general in life, is that what Tisha was talking about that she does, I do very well. Is that I change my expectations of people instantly, and sometimes that's a defense for me, and sometimes it's not. So I can forgive easily,
right?
You know,
right?
Easily. It takes nothing for me to forgive, because that shit'll never happen again. You know, you don't have to worry about apologizing and saying you won't do it no more.
Right.
It could never happen again. Right. You know, and so we are growing, and I'm understanding more of his dynamic and the position that he was in life. And it's really tough. It's tough because you broke a glass, and now we got to put it back together.
Yeah.
And so the best that you're going to get is a broken glass put back together. Yeah. You know, and the question is, will it ever hold water again? And my thing is, maybe it made again something new and something different. And I think that's the same thing with broken relationships across the board, is that, me and him had more than a friendship. We had like a brotherhood. We were family friends. Yeah. And so, the toughest thing, and you guys are going to see how this plays out. Yeah. The toughest thing is not what someone does or how they treat you in a certain situation. It's the fact that they have the capacity to do that. Right. And that's what kind of
hurt more than anything.
Yeah, it hurts more than anything. But we're growing, and we're trying, and we're moving forward the best we can. And so we're taking what pieces we have, and we're moving forward. Like I said, Martel is a good guy that was in a dark place, and he's still going through a lot of stuff. And my heart goes out to him, because he's isolated with the world that's stacked against him, and people simply just don't know. And they really think they know. And it's really sad. Yeah. It's really sad to a certain extent,
I know. I have so many follow-up questions about that. One being, do you guys regret doing the show because of how your friendship dynamic kind of shifted? Because you say you guys were family. Okay. Or do you think the show contributed to where you guys are in your friendship?
I think anything that strike the head, reveal the heart, And I'd much rather have anything that revealed how anybody is going to be and how they are. I'd hate for me to, I hate for me to be, in a life or death situation before I found out, where people
How
stand.
you really feel about me.
And so I want whatever it takes to get people to reveal, you know, where they are and what the strength of your relationship is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm in construction. Only way to know how much something can take is to break it. You know, so.
Sorry for making this interview long, you guys. I didn't expect it to have this deep conversation.
That's okay. Some good questions, some good conversation. So that's good.
You can get about 15 different rumors out of it.
I know. The two more questions that I have is recently there was a post from the mistress about suicide and the effect of the show. Have you guys seen that? If so, do you have any comments about that?
I've seen that.
Yeah, we saw it.
I think it's
a tricky situation.
To me, it's not even that tricky. I'll let you go first.
Well, I feel like it's tricky because I know suicidal is real and you cannot take that lightly. But I also know you put out stuff and that's real too. And it's tough. Like, this reality TV world is tough. And you have so many people coming for you. There's a lot of mean people in this world. Like, I didn't realize how many mean people is in this world. And so it's like, for me, it's just tricky because I do feel sorry because I can relate and feel to what she's going through as far as the heat that she's getting. And it's like, I can't take this. But then again, it's like, girl, you got to remove yourself from this situation and you can't be coming for people because, like, you made a whole statement like about me, about I hurt Tisha feeling. And I'm like, first of all, don't make threats, but I didn't do anything to you, and nor have I said anything about you. So it's like you can't throw this stuff out there, but then when you get the heat, you're like, oh, you know, I can't take this. So that's why I say it's tricky.
Here's what I believe in that situation. I think that Martell, Mel, Ariane, I think you're talking about three different dynamics of the same person, right? And these are people, they're fighters. They fight. And they're going to fight and they care about the image to the point where they're going to fight and push everything they possibly can out, even while they're hurting on the inside.
Yeah.
And even while they're being torn apart on the inside, they still want to portray this image of perfection and positivity. Like, I got it all together, when I know they don't. And so to say your actions don't speak up to your, you know, your level of sensitivity. You know, a lot of times people don't understand what insecurity and the difference between insecurity and strength is. You know, I remember one time I was running to school. I was afraid of a dog because the dog had attacked me. And I was going to school and a dog came out and I started yelling and chasing the dog because I was afraid, you know, and a lot of times insecurity speaks so loud. A lot of times, and all this yelling and stuff is because there's emptiness on the inside. You know, a lot of it is. And so while people are saying, well, you talked and you said this and you did this right here, I get that. I get that. It's because you're scared, you know? Well, because you're scared, you thought you could win in this situation. You thought that this tactic would work. And now that this tactic didn't work and you're left looking stupid and you're left looking hurt and you're left looking like you're the bad person, then you want to retreat and show your real feelings. And pretty much now you're saying, here's the white flag. Yeah. Please stop. Yeah. And to that extent, who are we as a people, as a community, to say, no, I'm going to put my foot on your throat? Because anybody that says, I thought about it, at that point, it's a cry for help no matter what. At that point, it's real. You know what I'm saying? And maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong, but don't be wrong in this.
Yeah.
Don't be the one that says, I think she's joking. No, let's keep going.
No,
don't
we still have to be human.
Heartless.
We still have to be human in this situation.
You know, if somebody says I've had enough,
back up.
I'm gonna just take it like they had enough.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because I'm prepared to kill.
I know. Anytime someone mentions suicide, I think that's something to be mindful of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Speaking of like mental health, Marsau, sorry about that. Last season you talked about like depression and you were kind of reluctant going to therapy. Are we going to see more of that journey this season? Are you open to going to therapy? Where are you with that?
I didn't speak about last year. I said this comment and it got blown out of
I know.
proportion. Yeah, last year I said that even at the times that I was most successful, the biggest feeling I felt was depressed, and it was because for me, I put my ladder up against the wrong tower when it comes to success. The two biggest things in my life that I've confused in terms of, as a younger man, is I confuse money for success and women for love. Mm. And so at this point right now, you step back from it and you say, this is what I really want in life. And because I grew up without money, I felt that this was the number one goal until you get it, until you get these things and you feel empty,
right?
And so that's what that was about. It was about, making sure that your ladder leading to the right tower that you call success, understanding what it means in that capacity, and being burnt out, and you'll see. I mean, y'all probably seen on social media that I took a trip to Africa, and we'll see how that dynamic played out for me. I think that it was very positive. I think it's one of the most positive things I've done in my adult life, and I think that it was really sharpened the saw and helped me revitalize and feel better about me and my life where I'm at.
Yeah. So, last question: if we can describe this upcoming season in one word, who would that be?
Dramatic.
Oh no! Oh no, Tisha.
One word to describe this upcoming season, I think it's true.
True,
True.
Those are very opposite. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes the truth is dramatic.
We had different scenes.
And with this cast, I promise the truth is stranger than fiction.
What does that mean? I don't
know. The truth is stranger than fiction. It's so much. It's like it's so much. For me, it's like so much stuff that so much stuff you see. It's like really, and some stuff you see, you'd be like, that's not even the half of it. That's not even the half of it. So it's like, wow, this, shout out to the cast for leaving it all on the field, to speaking in their truth, to climbing up the mountain, to really telling the world who they are.
Yeah. The cast gives y'all the show.
That's very true. That's very true. You guys definitely do put out for us. Well, I apologize for this very, very long interview. It really was supposed to be 10, 15 minutes, but I appreciate you guys. Just joining this live very last minute, and thank you so much everyone for watching. I will save this live so you get to rewatch it if you missed it or if you came halfway. Latisha Marsau, thank you again and congratulations on season 4. Can't wait to see how this season plays out, and hopefully we can get on live again to talk about like maybe mid-season or as the episode again.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity and having us on to explain a little bit more about it. So
of course. Have a good one, y'all.
You too. Bye-bye.